Imagine a world where nations wage war, not with tanks and missiles, but with interest rates and exchange rates. A world where the strength of your currency can make or break your economy. Sound far-fetched? Well, welcome to the reality of currency wars in our multipolar world. Welcome to the Economy Unpacked Daily YouTube channel. From Wall Street to your street, we share the world of money in a clear way. Today, we're diving into the high-stakes game of currency wars. In our increasingly complex global landscape, exchange rates have become more than just economic tools. They re-now weapons in the arsenal of geopolitical strategy. Countries no longer need to fire a single shot to destabilize their opponents. A well-timed currency devaluation or a strategic monetary shift can be just as effective. But what exactly are exchange rates, and why do they matter so much? Simply put, exchange rates determine how much one currency is worth compared to another. They have a profound impact on trade, investment, and inflation. When a country's currency is strong, its consumers enjoy cheaper imports, but its exporters struggle to compete globally. On the flip hand, a weak currency can boost exports but make imports more expensive, potentially fueling domestic inflation. Let's look at a real-world example. When the US dollar strengthens, American shoppers might celebrate cheaper foreign goods, but US farmers and manufacturers, they're left scratching their heads, wondering how to compete in the global marketplace. Meanwhile, if the Japanese yen or Chinese yuan weakens, their exporters suddenly find themselves with a significant price advantage on the world stage. To truly understand currency wars, we need to take a quick trip down memory lane. The modern currency order began in 1944 with the Bretton Woods system, which established the US dollar as the world's reserve currency backed by gold. But when Nixon pulled the plug on the gold standard in 1971, currencies were left to float freely, ushering in an era of volatility. History is peppered with famous episodes of currency wars. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, nations engaged in competitive devaluations, weakening their currencies in a desperate attempt to survive. More recently, in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis, the U.S. faced accusations from China and Brazil of deliberately weakening the dollar through quantitative easing to gain an economic advantage. The lesson: currency wars often rear their ugly heads during periods of global stress. When countries prioritize their domestic recovery over international stability, it's a stark reminder that in times of crisis, it's every nation for itself. But currency wars aren't just about economic competition. They're about wielding currency as a weapon. Countries have a variety of tools at their disposal. They can artificially devalue their currency to boost exports, impose sanctions to block access to payment systems or reserves, or use monetary policy to stimulate growth at the expense of other nations. Take the U.S. sanctions on Russia in 2022 as a case study. By freezing billions in Russian reserves and pushing Moscow to shift trade to rubles, yuan, and gold, the U.S. demonstrated how dependence on the dollar can become a critical vulnerability. It was a wake-up call for many nations about the risks of being too reliant on a single global currency. Now let us talk about the elephant in the room, the shifting balance of power in the global currency system. While the US dollar still dominates, making up around 60% of global reserves, cracks are starting to form in its armor. China's yuan is gaining traction in trade settlements, especially in Asia and Africa. The euro remains a strong regional and global player, and the BRICS countries are exploring alternative payment systems and even toying with the idea of a shared digital currency. Emerging markets and countries in the global south are increasingly seeking ways to escape dollar dependency. Brazil and China, for instance, have already started settling trade directly in yuan. This signals a shift towards a more multipolar currency system, where power is shared rather than monopolized by a single nation. In this new landscape, currency rivalries are deeply intertwined with geopolitics. The U.S.-China rivalry isn't just about trade disputes. It's mirrored in currency tensions as the yuan becomes a tool of strategic influence. In energy markets, the long-standing petrodollar system is under pressure as Russia and Middle Eastern countries explore alternative pricing mechanisms. And let's not forget about the digital frontier. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are the new battlefield, with China's digital yuan already in circulation, while the US and Europe cautiously develop their own. These digital currencies could potentially bypass traditional systems like SWIFT and reshape the very foundations of global finance. The currency battlefield is no longer just about interest rates and exchange rates. It's about who controls the future of money itself. So, what does the future hold? We can envision three possible scenarios. First, dollar dominance could continue, with the trust, liquidity, and depth of U.S. markets keeping the greenback on its throne. Alternatively, we could see a true multipolar system emerge, where the dollar, euro, yuan, and regional currencies share global reserve roles, or we might witness fragmentation. With no clear leader and regional blocs trading in their own currencies, potentially weakening globalization as we know it. Each of these scenarios has far-reaching implications for businesses, investors, and everyday people. We could be looking at higher transaction costs, potential inflation shocks, or a complete reshaping of the global economic landscape. As we wrap up, it's crucial to remember that currency is never neutral. It is a powerful tool that shapes trade, politics, and even security. In our multipolar world, the battle for currency dominance is not just an economic issue. It's a geopolitical chess game with high stakes for everyone involved. So, here's the million-dollar question. Will the US dollar maintain its status as the world's financial superpower? Or are we on the brink of a new era of multipolar money? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on global economic insights, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Remember, in the world of currency wars, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep your eyes on the markets and your mind on the bigger picture.